When your accessory is bigger and more bulky than yourself, and you still cost the same as every other Limbot in the set, there is something awry with the economics at Generation Toy, I think. Hi everyone, this is Triple T, and today I'm taking a look at Generation Toy GT-8C Bulance. Yes, that's a silly name, but it works, as I always say. Again, this box is very, very beautiful. It actually looks like a photo almost of this alt mode, but there is nothing else on there, so let's look at that beautiful picture on this instead. This looks really, really nice. I'm in awe of these illustrations. Not as much of him, but I'll get to that later on. I love him still. These are fairly well done. I say fairly because that's the correct word for it. Some of them, detailing could be a bit better. But I'm not complaining, I'm just pointing out for your information. Bulance. He comes with his little gun, done in this weathered effect that all these come in. Yes, I paid extra for weathered effects. I don't know if they took it out of the sandbox and just rolled them around or whatever, because they have a very strange feel to them. But this looks good. For some reason, this isn't really stuck in there as it should. I don't know if I've ever pulled it out or not. I hope not. You can, of course, take that down, and yeah, looks good. You have the combine mode legs as a little camper caravan for him, and you're going to split them apart to actually create the feet, and yeah. So these are kind of fun. No, not like that. And when you are not using that in the camper caravan-ish mode, just combine them up and tab everything in. And he has this caravan that he can actually attach to himself and pull in this little port. Which I will not be opening because getting this back is just atrocious. So you're going to have to use your imagination here. It looks like this, but it's well, fun piece. Feels good. You can do things with this if you want to. You have a little sunroof that you can open up. Yeah, but that's how that looks. And now we come to the bot himself, and he looks really, really nice. I have my qualms with him, mainly because he is very panelly and fiddly, and you have to do quirky stuff just to get him into combine mode, but still, he looks really, really good. And here you have Bulance in his beautiful car or alt mode. This is a vehicle, right? Not a car. Oh, well, it's now automobile anyway, so... Yes, I know people are gonna dislike that I said that. These wheels don't really roll. When you take them one by one, they are just fine, but all together, they're not as fine. And I think that has to do with these front wheels and how they are tabbed in, because they are a bit crooked most of the time, and that makes it actually not roll in a straight line. You have a little emblem here for the model of the car. You can almost guess which one it is, because we've seen them in movies, we've seen them on the streets maybe, depending on where you live. And yeah, you have some nice detailing weathering here, gunmetal grey windows for some reason, and emergency. I think the one that actually came up with this name had an emergency right after. Yeah, I'm not going to be mean today. That is what he looks like from the back, and from above, and from beneath. And yes, this is the panel you just unpeg so you can see the bot, but still. This is the one Limbot I actually broke when transforming him for the first time. And I did glue him back together, and then I totally forgot where he broke. That's how good of a gluing I did. But if you watch closely here, you can see this is a very nice panel, smooth. And if we turn it around, there is a little line here that is actually where I glued it because I felt that just onto itself. So, yeah, but it's on there now and I hope it never goes off again. I don't know if there is a storage for this. I can't find anything underneath the car, so I usually just plug it into the back and it actually sits there fairly well if you want it in the alt mode, of course. If you don't, well, you can fold the side view mirrors in and out. That is more for transformation, but still, it's an articulation in this mode, not to be forgotten. And for comparison, let's bring in X-Transbot's First Aid, or was it Paragon? I never remember these third-party names because, to me, both of these are First Aid, so hello, First Aid. I think he's a bit too much Ratchet, and I wish they actually took this bot and rebranded it as Ratchet as well, because everything would be better than the Ratchet they actually came up with. So this one can, of course, open the doors and so on, and you have some detailing in there. Well, yeah. And he doesn't, of course, but who cares about opening doors? This is an effect I don't want them to sacrifice stability or anything else for in robot mode or alt mode. So, yeah. And they are, of course, going for totally different aesthetics. This is the cartoon and this is the more IDW comic. And they both look very good. Very, very good. I've never understood why the comic and the cartoon wasn't fairly similar, but, well, it gives us a variety, so maybe that is why. And as long as we have everyone here, let's bring out the rest of the X-Transbots set here. At the time of filming, I only have the 3. So their blades and hotspot hasn't been released yet, so this is a fairly good-looking set either way. Now we're going to transform him into combine mode and then to bot mode, of course. And this is a transformation I'm not happy to be doing back and forth a couple of times because it is unnerving. There are a lot of panels, they have to be pegged in, and you have a lot of these double hinged pieces that you don't really know which one am I going to rotate first. You learn by doing, but still it is annoying, quite frankly. So please cue the music and we'll get started. We're going into combine mode first, and to do that we have to undo half of the ambulance. Open this up. This is tabbed in both on the chest and on these 2 pegs there. That is why these chest pieces are having a lot of paint scrapage here. So I don't know if that was a good idea from the start. Fold these up, fold these wheels in for now. Now we're going to untab this section. And to do that, we scooch the back section up a bit, so it actually loosens from up here, like that. Fold the sides up like so. Don't tab them in because we're going to fold them down later on when we have gotten this in the correct configuration. Get this. And when this is tabbed in, it's actually very secure. Like that. We're going to fold out the arms. So we have some leeway here. And now we're going to hinge this body down. And I can see I have some stress marks in there. That is not good. But what are you going to do? Now we're going to take everything back to its original position. This is the fiddly part, because now nothing really hangs on to these. So, yeah. tab these in here, tab this red section here, tab that onto these. That is really fiddly, but you can do it. You are supposed to do it, so like that. When they are tabbed in, you can again try to do these. And after that, you can try to do this. And you have 1, 2, 3 pegs, 1, 2, and 3 ports in the upper section. And they have to be aligned or everything will just go awry. Now we're going to fold these down, and they are going to tab in several places, both underneath here and in these. Get these under that edge so you can just get everything correctly configured. Tab the wheels back into the side. So that will just stick, and I think that is why it doesn't really roll as it should. Fold this onto the 2 pegs in the front. Now I just push that out. Doesn't really secure this piece, but it works. So, oh, this is so snug. Yeah, and that just fell off. It's not broken, it's just that the hinge here is so small. Or maybe it did fall off. Yeah, it did fall off. Anyway, you can just take that away because you can secure it later on in bot mode on the top of the chest, so you don't really need to have that on. You fold this combiner piece down. I'm not going to do that because that's really difficult to do. And then we come to the legs. You separate the legs like so. You open these up, fold these in, and be mindful there are 2. I've actually broken that as well. You're going to fold it down so the red is on top. As you can see there, the difference is noticeable. And then you're going to tab this little piece onto this. And when you've done both of them, you get the hand, which comes with hotspot. You tab these together again. And now you have a very good looking arm. Like that. You have a little swivel. You can angle that very nicely. Unfortunately, the legs doesn't really stay where they're supposed to. I don't know why that is, but still. Yeah. If you want to, you can, of course, fold that outwards if you want that more flat, like some of the other toys do. You can also fold the wheels in if you feel that is better looking. So you have some options there. But this is the arm mode. And it's a very nice arm mode, and it's very sturdy. It's just that the legs don't really tab in anywhere. Unfortunately, this gives him a backwards ab crunch. So, yeah. And this is what he looks like from the inside. So, hello. Okay, let's get him to bot mode, because that's what we're here for, right? Well, at least I am. Gonna separate those just to get things going. Fold this up this time. Tab it in on the little siren lights there. So it tabs on there. Untab it from the arms. Like so. And fold the arms. Rotate that around so it's easier. Fold the arms out to the side. Like so. Fold that upwards. Squeaky. And when you've come this far, do this little wheel. You rotate the wheel twice So it comes in and you scooch it backwards. And then there is a tab there and going into the wheel and that little side there. And then we rotate this in. We hinge this out like so. So that tab goes in that port. We pull the arm out until it clicks into place. Rotate this backwards. Open this up, fold the hand out. And that is one side of the bot done. Now we hinge him upwards, so he gets that waist that he should have. Like that. And we're gonna come down to the legs before we do the backpack because we need the space. Rotate the waist so it's in the correct place. And now we're going to fold this up and out for now, so we get things clear here. We're gonna fold this down. And we're gonna fold these out to the side. Because, and this is very difficult to show you, but I will try. This leg is going to hinge up and out, like so. And this time you need this red on the side because you have a little peg up here that's going into the knee. So that is how you want that looking. And again, you need to angle this down and out so it sits like that. We come to this piece, the foot, and untab it from this. Fold it out. Push that in, not out as I did when I broke it, but you can see it still works. This comes out as well. Fold that down. Try to fold this past the foot. Fold this little edge in. Close that up. And then we're going to close everything up. Like so. This peg comes out sometimes. And this is to be a bit crooked. It's the correct configuration. So don't be... Oh, you have to press hard. I've never done that before. Okay, good. Now it looks like it should. Down here, you have this little thing that's going into the side of the foot. That locks that in. Or I say lock. It's going to go everywhere, but you know. That actually also makes this articulation very stiff, but we'll get to that later on. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is one leg done. Now we come to the back, and we're going to hinge this up so it looks like that. And this tab is going into that little port there. And to be able to do that, you're going to rotate this piece downwards, like that. And let's hope I can find that little tabbage. Yes, I did. And press it in so it's really in there. And this, the front piece, angles up a bit and down into that little slot, and you can press that in so it's actually very sturdy. I think I showed that too close. I will show that again. This tab goes into that little port, and that just keeps everything nice and tidy. And there you have Bulance in his amazingly looking bot mode. Now we have to take a look at him. And again, this is light piped. And I don't know why, because there is nothing back here to pipe that light. They are light blue. I wish they had painted it instead. That would be so much better. But unfortunately, they didn't. He looks very good still. There's little wheelie titties. This is a bit kibbly, but it doesn't really matter. It's on the sides and you don't really look there. Not that much anyway. My skirt pieces are really flimsy, unfortunately, so they look good, but they are flimsy, and the detailing everywhere here is just astounding. I like those little gold detents in there. Very, very nice. The thigh actually has a little extra piece here, and it's illustrated, well, detailed rather, down here for some reason, which you never see, so I don't know why, but it looks very good. The legs are fairly square, not as much as Ocular Max's, but we will be comparing them later on, so you can see for yourself. The feet are a bit strange. They are a bit too... Well, it's too far in, I think. I think I would have liked them a bit either longer or a bit more forward, but that is me. On the back, he cleans up very, very nicely. He has 2 wheels down here and emergency everywhere. And these are needed to be felt down as well, so you can actually use the entire knee joint here when we come to articulation later on. Like that. This is how his back is looking, and yes, it's a bit kibbly, but still, it works. It's not too bad, and it doesn't make him back heavy, which is good. That tends to pop out. But for articulation, the head can go all the way around. It's off-centered for some reason, but still, it can go all the way around. Look down, look up. Very nice articulation on that head. The arms can go all the way around on a very squeaky joint. They can come out to more than 90 degrees up, so that's nice. When you're pulling them down for transformation, be sure to pull them on the top piece. If you pull on this, you can actually make them flimsy like this. So don't, for your own sake. You have a bicep swivel. You have above 90 degree at the elbow. And the hands are per usual style from Generation Toy. 3 fingers on 1 pin, 1 crooked finger on a single one, and the thumb is just motionless. You have a waist rotation, no ab crunch because it's inverted for elbow mode. Now this is a bit scary. I don't want to break these. I'm not gonna force them past. Not that high, because as you can see, these will break. They are flimsy. Almost the full splits, and backwards not much for some reason. I don't really see anything actually stopping it, but it doesn't really go backwards. The knee has a full range of articulation, and again that nice detail in there. And the feet just goes tilting, nothing up and down or anything like that. You can undo this if you want to, then you can get a little bit... That's where my mouth stopped working, or my brain took a vacation or something like that. You can untab that if you want to hinge them forward and back a bit, but he isn't as stable, so I'm going to keep that in. As you can see, this arm, I pulled it way too many times, and not in a good way. So yeah, it's a bit, but this is me pulling it wrong, so I'm not going to accuse Generation Toy of making something bad, because they haven't. You can, of course, put his little gun in his hand with that usual masterpiece tab in the palm. And again, it looks very... He wouldn't stand the Fans Toys test, really. Well, mostly, but yeah, that is not as nice as, well, it could be. But there you have him in all his glory, and he looks amazing. I love every single thing about him, except for the panelly transformation. And maybe these... I think these make the bot feel a bit fragile for some reason. I don't really know why. But here to compare with, here is Ocular Max bot. When I got him, I was amazed on how good he was, how well proportioned he was, and everything. In hindsight, I think the feet look strange. These just look like big car parts. I mean, they should be, but these are also, but they are compacted a bit. I wish you can just fold these in or something like that, so you didn't see the whole car piece. I know it's fairly cartoon correct, but I still don't like that. This is a bit heavier, and the plastic on the Ocular Max is more solid than the Generation Toy. especially due to the amount of paneling he has here. The plastic isn't that thick, but on this, the plastic is very, very thick. So quality-wise, this wins without a doubt. Looks-wise, I mean, X-Transbot looks so much better than this, even though it's a bot I don't transform that often. But between these two, I think this wins when it comes to looks. I'm just sad that these eyes are light piped because there is no light piping. As I always do, I bring in the entire set so you can see how they look. And I think they look fairly nice. This is my favorite. I don't think I gave him any marks on something bad at all. I do like him very much. They do feel a bit dirty due to the paint, but still, they look so good. Now for my conclusion. I like this bot very much, and I am a first aid fan. And this actually have a butterfly joint that I forgot to show you before. I do like first aids for some reason. I had one when I was a kid, and I broke the head in Hotspot's arm when I combined them, so he was headless most of my childhood, but I didn't really care. I loved him anyway. And this is very reminiscent of that toy, and just the feeling of it makes me happy. So he will be getting a masterpiece score of 8. He would probably get a 10 if it wasn't so panely and flimsy at points during the transformation. But he's a strong recommendation from me, and if you want the Combiner, which looks amazing, you definitely want to buy him, of course. But I guess that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and as always,